Recruiter here, the Headless Headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resume. The resume we have up first is a data analyst. So what we're going to be needing and wanting in a data analyst is your degree, the industry. Each industry has certain things that they need more than others, and I can't be in every industry. So as long as I can tell what industry you're in, you should be okay. SQL, data visualization, including Tableau, Power BI, and Looker. Stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders or people. How you solved a problem with data, not what the data is. Your industry, which I wrote twice. MS Excel, macros, Word, Python, R, multiple projects, and deadlines. That is quite a lot, but remember, you only need 75% to pass. So, can I find what I need in... Sorry, my phone was ringing. 20 seconds. So let's start the clock. And, oh, I hate, this is a terrible formatting. Okay, and go. All right. Literally nothing here. Power BI, okay. SQL, all right. And Excel, okay. Jeez, this is so hard to read. I can only go down to here. Yeah, that's it. All right, so I found 3 things. If you notice that 3 things is not 75%. So this definitely fails. And based on the fact that this person, I think, has like 200 plus applications with a single interview, that shows why. So what they said to me is, I'm a recent undergrad with a BS in informatics, information computer science. I ultimately want to get an entry level... Nope, wrong one. This person. Recent undergrad, both are undergrads, trying to get a data or business analyst role. I haven't had the best of luck, and I'm nearing 350 plus applications with 1 interview. I've applied to roles with his resume, which I match 70% of the qualifications requirements. Any advice would be appreciated. No, you don't. This is why. I found 3 requirements. There were more than that here. I found SQL, I found Power BI, and I found Excel. I don't see anything else, mainly because this is such a nightmare to read. Oh, your education is all the way at the bottom. Your education should be up top. In fact, your entire resume needs to look like this, okay? This is legible. If somebody has a headache, if somebody's distracted, they can read this and they can get farther in your resume. This is a mess of just everything. It is so hard to read. Like, do I have to zoom in for this? Probably. Like, the font is so small and on the background. And this is the actual importance of formatting, right? Like, everybody thinks, like, you need your resume to look pretty, and it's because recruiters reject your resume because it's not pretty or it's not to their exact format. And the answer is no. Most of us, there are always going to be, bad people, but the vast majority reject you for bad formatting because we can't find what we need in the 20 seconds we have. That's all we have. If I was able to search this for maybe 3 minutes, maybe I could find what I need, but I can't. So how do we fix this? 1, formatting. Oh my gosh, the formatting. Please make it better. Second, you need to actually show the qualifications. You said 70%. I see maybe... You know what? I don't know what 3 out of this entire list is. 30%? 20% maybe? I don't know. I know commissions and salaries. That's the only kind of math I know because I'm a recruiter. But yeah, there's just not there. So like this is fine. This is a good sentence, which is automated manual data processes using SQL and Power BI integration, creating real-time operational insights after each load entry. I don't know what load entry is, but at least you told me you use SQL and Power BI. The problem though is the rest of this is basically nothing. Like, you don't tell me anything. Maybe, and I'm gonna be charitable here, maybe P&L is specifically based on this industry, which is profit and loss. So maybe this is very specifically, you are trying to get into like P&L and green, I think it's called. I did a roll of this a little bit ago, but yeah, so maybe 4 if I count that. But the rest of this, I don't see it, right? Like, you say business users, that could count as stakeholders, but you don't tell me how you solved problems with really data. You don't tell me what type of MS Excel stuff you used. Did you do macros and pivot tables? Did you do Python at all? I don't see it. Did you do multiple projects at the same time? What about deadlines? Where are those? And in fact, did you explain complex topics to non-technical people? I don't see that. And that's my problem here. Like, this needs more information, right? Like, What did you do? Did you just improve data literacy? Because I'll be honest, I'm not looking for data literacy. That's not something I'm looking for. Is data literacy explaining complex topics to non-technical stakeholders? No, because most people would not understand what data literacy is. Look, I get it. You are a fresh grad. You have done probably a ton of stuff. You just graduated down here, right? And in college, every single person tries to focus on how to get correct and accurate data. The thing is, once you get to the workforce, no one cares. No one cares how you get the data, except when they're doing like audits. They only care that you did something that they can use. Like, why do I care of route data into Excel? Is it reporting time? Okay, but why is reporting time necessary? I don't know what it is. You don't tell me. It's so broad. You try to focus on how good you are and how braggy, and it doesn't work. Look, I'm here to tell you, I am a live recruiter, actively recruiting for stuff. You don't want your resume to be braggy, except for sales and some directors. They kind of need to. But for everybody else, you can't. You can't show brags on a resume. It doesn't really work. It doesn't. Because nobody understands what it is, right? Like, what is real-time visibility that transformed dispatch decision-making? Why is that important? What did you transform? I don't know. You did not tell me. And that's why you're not getting any luck. And we are in a recession, and entry-level jobs are the hardest jobs you'll ever find. But to be clear, you should still be getting more than 350 to 1, as 350 applications to 1 interview. Like a 1 to 40, that should be your goal. It's about 1 application to 40. So yeah, you need to change basically all of this. This has almost nothing I want. Now, I will warn you that we are approaching the recruiting wastelands of November and December. And during that time, approximately the week before Thanksgiving in the U.S. to the second week of January, recruitment shuts down hard across multiple industries. So if you fix up this resume and you do it everything right, you really only have about a month left of applying until, well, January hits, which is the biggest hiring boom of the year. So, yeah, you should definitely fix this. Make it so that it has the actual qualifications, because it doesn't. You said it has like 70% of the qualifications. This does not have 30% even. So that's all I can do for this resume. Before I go to the next one, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need more help, you can join me on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. You can also use a free skip function to skip the queue, because right now there's like 230 resumes in my queue or more, and I only do about 30 a week. But yeah, at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. What we are looking for is pretty basic. Again, internships are usually pretty minimal in what we're looking for. We just want degree, basic knowledge of the tech stack, the ability to work well with others, take direction and criticism, and that's kind of it. The difference is when you get into like PhDs and masters, they have slightly more qualifications, but for internships themselves, it's not too complicated. The problem is everyone sort of tries to show 1,000 different things, and it doesn't work. And it is competitive. I will say entry-level jobs and internship jobs are probably the most competitive jobs you can get right now. They're just an absolute nightmare to get. It's just so much competition. So, can I find what I need in 20 seconds? Let's find out. And go. All right, education, good. Develop full stack using Python, FastAPI, React on AWS, perfect. Love it. PostgreSQL database and Pandas, geospatial and political container. Okay, that's fine. Again, okay, that's not bad. Applied construction program, hardware issues. That's actually exactly what I want to see. All right, so this person said, please be critical. I'm currently a junior with no prior internship experience. Been applying for about 2 weeks ago and have been submitting around 15 applications a day. I think it might still be too early to hear back from them. You are correct. I think that is too early. Internships are weird when they hire, because sometimes they do them months in advance and then they call you back at a certain time and they do them in batches. So, yeah, it's a little bit different. All right, so my problem with this resume is probably going to be not what you expect. My monitor just turned off. I am viewing this entire... Okay, there we go. Turn back on. I know nobody saw that in the recording, but it went away. Did I... Okay, I kicked the wrong cord on my feed. All right, so there is an order of operations to your experience. So one thing, if it's a project, projects don't really need dates. It's okay to not have dates on projects. For work experience and internships, you do need them. So the order of operations of your resume, because people keep asking, like, should it be work experience? Should it be projects? Should it be whatever first? So first off, education up top, unless it's not relevant to the role you're applying to. Then the order goes work experience, internships, and projects. That is the order they should be in. Not the order of, like... Sorry, that is the order of most important. Work experience is taken more valuable than internships. Internships are more valuable than projects. So the reason you want to put projects above work experience is if it's not relevant. The problem is your work experience is relevant here. This is actually something that is relevant. So mainly because of this. So what you can do, right? You don't need to do anything too crazy with this, is just keep this, right? This is all we kind of need, right? Applied construction criticism from mentors to resolve programming and hardware issues, completing our projects ahead of schedule. And then you need to add this. Yeah, so we need to fix this, and you're in chat right now, so I can help you afterwards. But this is only going to be one bullet point long, and it is going to be above your projects, because constructive criticism is, in fact, a qualification for an intern. So that is a qualification, should be higher up. So the rest of this is fine. I think it's great. Yeah, I'm missing a little bit of the work well with others, and I do have the just direction and criticism. So, is this bad, right? Is this a terrible resume? No, I don't think it is. I know you want me to roast this, but I don't think this is terrible. I think it's just too early, quite frankly, to apply. Or not to apply, too early to hear back from, because, again, sometimes they do this stuff like months beforehand, and then they actually call you back in for stuff like in a couple of months. It's crazy. Timelines for interns are weird. So, yeah, not terrible. I don't think it's bad. I think we just need to do a couple of tweaks, which I will help you off from this YouTube on my Twitch chat. So for everybody else, we're going to the next resume. This is a resume of a financial analyst in Canada. It's actually been a bit since I did this. I checked these qualifications real quick. They should be at least close enough. But yeah, this person is a financial analyst, and they stated, I am applying to various positions in the finance industry. Okay, well, there's your exact problem. Including investment banking. I can't seem to land an interview from just applying. I update my resume very recently, and I hope it will help. So, first off, if you notice, the formatting's off is because this person accidentally doxed themselves in the thing directly below this and the thing directly above this. It is their name, but still, I don't want to have that just shown for everybody. So please, I do these live. Please, dox your name. All right, I don't want to know your real name. I want you to be anonymous for this. These are going on YouTube, which you are probably watching right now, and I cannot edit them live. Maybe one day I'll create a system for that, but that day is in the future. So, your big issue, and the reason you probably have an over 150 application to 1 ratio, is A, entry level's difficult. That's very difficult. 2, you don't graduate for another 2 years? I don't know how Canada does this, but I can't imagine they would hire somebody who does not have their degree yet. Maybe this is specifically a Canadian thing, but in the US, unless it's for internships, because internships are a little bit different, if you apply and you cannot start within 3 months of your applying, you will probably get rejected. So, again, internships are different, but for every other non-intern position in the US, if you are graduating in 2026 May and you're applying now, that's probably too early. I've had some back and forth on this, so if I'm incorrect of that in the US particularly, let me know. I haven't really heard of companies doing that. So, but yeah, your big issue is you you're trying to do everything. You can't. Your resumes are highly, highly specific. So what I'm looking for is a degree, a Microsoft Office, Excel, Advanced, PowerPoint, ERP, SAP, Power BI, Tableau, cross-functional, multitask, deadlines, and a bonus for all that other stuff. So can I find it in 20 seconds? Probably not. I doubt it, but let's try. So, yeah, that has nothing. I mean, comp analysis. Analysis could be a word. Schedules, nothing I need here, nothing I need here. Nothing I need here, nothing I need here. I don't know what any of those are, and they're not needed. Excel, there we go. Sharp ratio, I don't know what these are. Yeah, the only thing I found here is Excel, which you didn't even capitalize, by the way. That should be a capitalized. So, yeah, your problem is you don't have anything I'm looking for, right? Like, nobody is looking for, what did you say this was? Key valuation multiplier, EV, EBITDA, PBPS, across 11 North oil companies, identifying Canadian firms as 6 to 10% undervalued related to U.S. peers. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the use of it. Once you get to the corporate world, we need to see how you are able to use the data to make changes. Like, no one's going to know what this is unless it's a specific Canadian oil term, which maybe it is. I can't be in every industry. But, like, what is a Sharp ratio of 5 securities? I looked at job postings. Not one of them mentioned a Sharp ratio. None of them invented risk-adjusted returns. Your job as a data analyst is to explain this stuff so that people like me who have no idea what it is can make use of that data. And by writing your resume like this, you immediately failed. So, like, a 46, what is upside? I need to know how I can use this. I don't need to know necessarily how you do it. In school, they teach you how to do it, and they make sure you get it correct, because once you're in the real world, unless they're doing an audit, they're not going to check as much. So I need to know how you use the data. Dealing with people that don't know how to turn on their monitor is like 90% of your job. So that's all I can do for this one, especially because, like, there's so many things off with this. But let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a business intelligence engineer. I have not actually recruited for this before, but the qualifications on what to actually have were pretty simple. It was really easy to look up. Almost every single one of them had the same qualifications. So, yeah, it looks to be just this. Degree, data visualization tools such as Looker, Power BI, SQL, DBT, whatever that is, Python, R, shell scripting, dimensional models, or just the word models in data analysis. That's kind of what they want. And explaining complex topics to non-tech folk. Basically, what you use the data for, not how you got the data. This is the almost the equivalent of, like, you need to put this in almost every tech resume that is, well, super tech besides software engineering, is you are the expert on it. You are the one that is explaining it. You have to explain complex stuff. And by what I mean by that is, people may not know what Excel is. You have to explain how you got the data. Not how you got the data, but what you did with the data. So, speaking of Excel, Microsoft Excel for data validation. That was in a bunch of them. Cross-functional, and then Agile, Scrum, Kanban, Waterfall, basically, like, you know, the area. So, can I find that in 20 seconds? Let's find out. And a 3, and a 2, and a go. Boom. I hate reading this. This is a nightmare. Where's your education? Okay, it's already down there. And it's related. ETL is nice to have. Python. Tableau could be equivalent to like Looker and Power BI. And I see Power BI out of the corner of my eye, and that's it. That's all the time I have. Your formatting is awful. I had really only like 6-7 seconds because of your formatting. So, did I find it? No, I only found like 4 things. So I'm pretty sure this will be a yeet. So, what does this person tell me? They said, I'm trying to make a job switch from their current role to a data analyst, BI engineer, BI analyst. Okay, but a BI engineer is a little bit different. These are different qualifications than I would want for a data analyst versus different qualifications for a business analyst. So, yeah, and different from a data analyst. So the resume I'm reviewing is only from a business intelligence engineer standpoint, which was very easy to look up the qualifications for. So if you are trying to be a data analyst or a data engineer or a BI engineer, well, those are different qualifications, and the same resume won't work. I'm looking for a role with work experience requirements between 3 to 6 years. Earlier this year, I get calls from Amazon. But apart from that, has been pretty. Most of these companies just described I'm an immigrant with H-1B. Okay, so first off, due to the recent changes in the government, like 3-4 weeks ago at the time of recording this, H-1Bs have a massive more difficulty in getting a job. Before, it was like 3 times as hard. Now it's closer probably to 5 to 6 to 8 times as hard. That is because of the new executive order with the $100K fee for H-1Bs. But I have to review this under the assumption that they are able to work and the company can use their visa. So part of your problem is your resume does it all, and if a resume does it all, it doesn't do anything, right? Like, that's the problem. You cannot have a generalized resume. It is very rare, and I say this as somebody who is working on roles that do involve jack of all trades. It's very rare for companies to actually want a jack of all trades. They don't want a generalized person. They want somebody who's very specific. And this does not have enough of what I'd be looking for business intelligence engineer. So first off, couple of things is your formatting is awful. Please switch to this formatting. This is how you do it. It's on my website. You should be able to find it. This is what you need to do. This is how it should look like. Second, this can be deleted. I can't use anything here. This should be up top. If you saw, the degree was one of the big qualifications. I had to look all the way down here and then go here and then go back up, which lost me precious seconds. So that is why your education should be up at the top. Second, stop bolding everything. It makes it harder to read. This should be bolded. This should be bolded. This should be bolded. If it's if it's a project, also should be bolded. Everything else, nothing here, should be bolded. It makes it harder to read. And third off, not even counting the formatting, is I just did not find what I needed to move you forward. Like, what did I actually find? I found your degree, which is good. Let me take these away, right? I found data visualization tool, so we got that. I think I found SQL. And I think that was it. I found one more thing, didn't I? ETL, but that's a nice to have. That's not like a necessary thing. You got to get the other stuff. Oh, and Python. Python card counts as R. So Python or R. And that's it. That's all I found. But where is the DBT? Maybe you have it? DBT. Let's see this. Yeah, I missed it because of your bolding. That's why. It's all the way down there off in the little corner. But I don't see is how you explain complex topics to non-technical folk, which is a massive part of it. I also did I see Excel? Maybe I saw Excel. No, I did not see Excel. I did not get down to here. Because again, remember, if it's here, doesn't count. If it's here, doesn't count. Has to be in the bullet points. And yours was not, except for all the way down here, which I did not get far enough down to find. Did I see cross-functional? Let's look for cross-functional. Across 5 departments. Maybe that counts, but no one's going to get that far down. What about shell scripting? Nope, didn't see it. What about dimensional models? Nope, didn't see it. What about agile? Nope. Maybe Scrum? Nope. Kanban? Nope. DAX as a nice to have? Nope. So yeah, again, you just did not have enough. You had like 40% of what I needed, and that's why you're having issues. And the H-1B. Admittedly, the H-1B is in this climate a nightmare, but that's also part of the reason is even if you did not have an H-1B, there's just not enough to move you forward. Like, this is what we're actually looking for. Like, you can look at these roles. Their business intelligence was pretty easy. They all had the same thing. And you only need 75%. So, like, yeah, it's okay if you don't have shell scripting, but you need the rest of the stuff, right? Like, yeah, maybe you forgot to put Excel, but as long as you can explain complex topics, you have dimensional models, you have shell scripting, it's okay to maybe not have Excel, or maybe cross-functional, but you can't have none of them, right? You only have 30 to 40%. So I'm not sure if you're actually going for a BI engineer, but that is that is what they're looking for, and this does not show any of the qualifications. Because remember, like, I don't care about data quality. Everybody tries to do this stuff, and nobody cares. Enhanced operational visibility. Cool, I don't know what that means. I'm a foolish recruiter, right? Like, I've got a bachelor's in psychology. Some of them might not even have bachelors. We may not know what any of this stuff is. They may not know that you can create macros in Excel. You need to write your audience for an audience that is a layman. Right? People insult recruiters all the time. But what really bugs me is not that they call us idiots. It's not that they call us fools. It's the fact that in one breath, they call us idiots while writing a resume that you need 6 years of education to understand. And 2 minutes, not 20 seconds. So that's what bugs me. Make your resume simple. Make it basic. Make it boring. Stop bragging. It really doesn't work. I think in the entire time I've done this channel, there's been like 2 resumes that worked with brags. I think that was in the last video, the video before that, where the person was like, I don't know, they did something really impressive, but that was understandable to the layman. And if you notice, that person, when they actually bragged and they succeeded, they didn't have any percentages. It wasn't any percentages. There was no numbers. It was just like, yeah, we won an award from the entire country of India, I think it was, or something. It was incredibly crazy. So stop bragging. Stop writing all these percentages. Stop bolding. Put down what we actually want. It's boring, it's basic, but it gets you a job. Let's go to the next resume. This is a person that docks themselves. Stop doxing yourselves. Shame. Shame I do these live. So this is a data analyst. They did not tell me anything other than that their ratio is 150. Again, it kind of alluded to this. I didn't say it strictly, but you can tell how good your resume is by the ratio. So if it's 150 applications to 1 interview, that's terrible. That's really, really, really bad. If it's 1 to 50, not the worst, not the best, but not the worst. If it's anything below a 1 in 20, it's a phenomenal resume. So data analyst, we need the same things as we did last time, so I'm not going to go over them again. Can I find these in 20 seconds? Let's find out. All right, none of that I need. I think SQL. I need SQL. Again, you already mentioned it. ETL, Python. Sometimes I need maybe cloud. I'm going to give you half a point for AI, and that's it. There we go. That's all you have. So you also stated OPT, and the problem is you can't just say I'm on an OPT with X amount of time. You have to explain to the people how they can work with your OPT, and that saying, hey, you can work with my OPT for X long without sponsorship. Right? Like, the problem isn't you can't just say OPT, and that's why my formatting doesn't say to just put, like, OPT or H-1B. It's you have to explain how to work with it, right? Like, most recruiters and managers and companies don't know the difference between the various visa status. Most candidates don't know the difference between a lot of the visa statuses, which is wild to me. So there is a difference between an H-1B and an OPT. An OPT, you don't really need sponsorship for. The problem is, nobody's going to understand that unless they do primarily, like, roles with immigration. So you need to explain to them in a very brief sentence, so right between these, is just say, you know, any company can work with me because of X and Y, no need to sponsor for 3 years, right? Stuff like that. That way they know, oh, okay, that's all I have to do. So that's a big one, is you got to actually let us know what it is. You can't just say F1 or OPT or H1B. Is they don't know. They probably don't know. And I've gone through immigration training, and I was like the immigration like person for a bit. Almost every single case, you got to push it through to a lawyer. That's how complicated it is. And it changes every month practically. So but your biggest problem besides that is you got like nothing in your resume, right? Like, the formatting's not awful. Yeah, it could be a little bit better, but whatever. But a big issue is just there's nothing here I want. Like, why do I care about Ubuntu VMs? Why do I care about Docker containers? Why do I care about Snowflake? Maybe I care about AWS, but why do I care about specifically Redshift? I don't. I don't care about Redshift or 1.8 TB, whatever. HIPAA, yes, because again, that might be an industry-specific one for healthcare. So HIPAA, I do care about. That one I'll put in. Again, I can't be in every industry. Sometimes I miss industry-specific ones. It's very difficult. But like big data processing, I don't care about that. Like, develop maintenance, high-performance storage procedures, don't care about that. I care about SQL, but what's server management studios? I'm not looking for it. Why do I care that you improved query performance? I don't. when you get a job, you have to get outside of the school mindset. College is different than the real world. I personally think that after college, the real world kind of starts. There's definitely an exception to that. I'm not saying tragedy cannot strike during that time, but in college, you try hard, you can succeed. And sometimes it's harder for other people than others. But, personally, it was harder for me. But once you get outside of college, no one really cares. They just care that it's a piece of paper, right? They don't really care that you reduced processing of 40% or whatever, or ETL processes, or query performance, or 99% downstream data. All they want to know is, hey, what number go up make profit go up, right? Like, they just don't care. Or maybe like, why is it that when we sell a red toy, it performs less than a blue toy? They don't care about how you got the data unless they're doing an audit, which is another person's job usually. They just care that you can use the data. So you have to explain that to me. So this resume doesn't work at all because there's just like nothing here, right? Like, you don't explain stuff to me. You throw a bunch of terms that I don't really care about, and you don't tell me half the stuff that I'm looking for. So that is a big, big issue. And that's all I can do for really this resume because it's practically blank. So, if anybody needs any more help, they can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search.